is Wednesday, July 1st. Welcome to CGN News. Digicel will suspend all paid advertising on Facebook platforms for this month as it joins a growing number of global brands taking a stand against hate speech online. The company wants to send a strong message to Facebook and force it into affirmative action against those who would use its platforms to spark and spread negative, damaging, and violent messaging. Major brands like Unilever, Starbucks, Levi's, and Coca-Cola are among nearly 200 firms pausing advertising on the social network, wiping out billions in Facebook's market value. In an attempt to defuse the advertiser boycott, Facebook said it will give priority to original news reporting to divert attention from spam, clickbait, and specious articles. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service on Tuesday said they foiled a well-orchestrated plan to destabilize the Twin Island Republic. 72 people have been arrested. Protesters blocked roads and fired gunshots, demanding that the officers involved in the deaths of 3 men last Saturday by police be brought to justice. The 3 men have since been identified as Noel Diamond, Joel Jacobs, and Israel Clinton from the Morvant area. Residents compared the deaths of the 3 men to the murder of George Floyd. National Security Minister Stuart Young demanded that criminal elements who are using the opportunity to stir up the protest to end their actions. Young also confirmed that the security forces had detained Fuad Abu Bakr, the son of the Muslim leader Yazin Abu Bakr, who in 1990 had staged an unsuccessful coup there. Heads of government of CARICOM will host a special conference on Friday, July 3, which will see Prime Minister Mia Mottley handing over the reins to incoming chairman, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. During her tenure as CARICOM chair, Prime Minister Mottley hosted the 31st Intersessional Conference and held a number of meetings to map out a strategy to deal with the COVID-19 crisis. She also facilitated a meeting between CARICOM heads of government and representatives from leading cruise lines to discuss matters of mutual interest. The relationship fostered during this meeting allowed the community to openly share concerns about the impact of COVID-19 on the cruise industry in the Caribbean. Dr. Hubert Minnis, Prime Minister of Bahamas, has strongly urged citizens against non-essential travel to countries where COVID-19 cases are spiking, including the United States. Minnis made the call during a national address and implored citizens to stay home. The Prime Minister's plea comes as the Bahamas reopens the borders today for the first time since closing in March owing to the COVID-19 outbreak. Overseas now, Ethiopian musician Hachalu Hundeza was shot and killed on Monday, and his death sparked a protest in Addis Ababa. The singer died Monday in an attack by unidentified gunmen. Hundeza was a popular voice in protests by the Oromo, Ethiopia's biggest ethnic group. He protested for reforms in the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front that led to the rise of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali in 2018. Ethiopians on social media, including the country's ambassador to Washington, expressed their shock at the killing of the beloved musician. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday extended free food grain distribution for approximately 800 million people till the end of November. In his address, Modi said during the monsoon season, most of the work happens in the agricultural sector. The measure will cost his government 900 billion Indian rupees, about $11.9 billion. Police in Italy have confiscated a huge shipment of 14 metric tons of amphetamines, which they say was produced by ISIS in Syria. Guardia di Finanza Financial Police said officers tracked 3 suspect containers to the port of Salerno in southern Italy and found 84 million pills with a market value of 1 billion euros inside. Investigators said the bust is the largest drug haul in the world in terms of both value and quantity. Hong Kong is now facing a new reality. China's central government has imposed a sweeping national security law that critics say has stripped the city of its autonomy and civil and social freedoms. The law cements Beijing's authoritarian rule over the territory. Hundreds turned out to protest the legislation in the busy shopping district of Causeway Bay, but were met with a heavy security presence. Riot police fired pepper spray into the crowd, dispersed protesters, and deployed water cannons. The new law came into effect on July 1, the 23rd anniversary of the handover of Hong Kong from British rule to China, and dramatically broadens the powers of local and mainland authorities to investigate, prosecute, and punish dissenters. Zimbabwe is facing a hunger crisis. More than 7 million people, half of Zimbabwe's population, were facing food shortages or hunger before the coronavirus outbreak in the country, according to the World Food Programme, the WFP. Samantha Murozoki is ensuring that people in her community are getting fed in a country where hunger is rampant. According to Murozoki, what began as a desire to feed a neighbor who had gone to bed hungry at the start of the lockdown has grown into a community feeding scheme that attracts more than 2,000 people daily. Initially, she funded the project out of her own pocket, but the community soon started to contribute to sustain the project. And she traded some of her own items too. Murozoki said it took her less than 2 weeks to get to 867 to queue in front of her home. She bartered jeans, sneakers, jackets for maize, cooking oil, salt, and labor. The 35-year-old lawyer and mother of two has since become a national heroine and says her life has changed. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.